We didn't talk a lot about comedy.
Mm-mm.
It was mentioned, and then so I'm gonna probably mention what we discussed on that as well to kind of get some clarification or some ideas that I have. But have you ever had to deal with a heckler
Oh yeah.
during a comedy show? How did that work out?
I mean, everybody's gonna have to deal with a heckler at some point. Uh, I think early on in comedy, I learned to deal with people, and sometimes it's not even just heckling. Like they're just they like the interaction. So basically, a lot of times instead of necessarily arguing with people, insulting them, you just talk to them and have a little bit of a dialogue, and then it ends up being fun.
Has anyone ever gotten like blatantly disrespectful?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, seen some people get like that, and one guy, not me personally, but he got threatened, but he got escorted out by his girlfriend.
By his girlfriend. Well, how would you handle that if you was at a show and somebody started like heckling you, and at first it's like friendly banter, dialogue, but then they get like disrespectful, like they cross the line. Like, what do? You just like think that the bouncers are gonna take care of it, or is that how it usually happens?
It's usually very easy to diffuse, believe it or not. If you just kind of, like I said, kind of keep that dialogue with
You kind
somebody.
of lean up a little more when you
Yeah,
talk. Thank you.
keep that dialogue going with them, and just chatting with them. A lot of times, instead of like roasting each other, you kind of just like maybe just agree with them. Yeah, I suck, but you know what? I'm trying. Stuff
All
like
right.
that. Just don't let them know it bothers you.
Yeah, because you got to keep it moving.
Right.
Right. I got so much respect for you for being a comedian, dog, because like I kind of compare y'all to MMA fighters because I mean you out there, you by yourself, crowds watching, you know what I mean, and it's all on the line. You know what I'm saying? Either you're gonna kill or you're gonna bomb. You know what I mean? So early on, can you think back to one time where you like had like a huge bomb? How did you recover from that?
Yeah. Just tried to look back and try to figure out what happened. You know, um, was it just was my timing off? Were the jokes just not that creative? And I don't like to blame the audience. Yet this one specific time, I feel like everybody was having trouble. I don't like to blame the audience. If you're funny, you're funny.
Right.
But it seemed like everybody was having trouble that night. And that doesn't necessarily even mean that you're bombing. Sometimes people don't laugh. Sometimes people just will smile, and that's their way of showing you that they enjoy it. They're enjoying it. They're not even laughing. Because there's been plenty of times where I'm like, God, that was terrible. And people are like, oh, you had a good set. I enjoyed it. I'm like, you didn't laugh at anything. So a lot, but yeah, I've had some times where it just didn't go well, and I just try to just go back and look and see what was it. Was it the timing? Was it the setup, punchline? Was I just not? Was I off? Was I not likable? Because likable is huge.
Yeah, likability. Unfortunately, you can't please everybody, right?
That's right.
That's not what we're in this business for. Well, entertainment. I guess what I'm doing is kind of entertainment side as well. Um, when it comes to comedy and you personally, like I feel like I haven't known you that long, but just by how you carry yourself and your demeanor, that it's not just about getting laughs. That you have like an underlying purpose within your comedy. I don't know if that's like to tell a story, to get a point across, to give your side your perspective, or is it like partly therapeutic to you? Like, what does comedy mean to you?
I would say all that. Yeah, you want people to laugh. I can't really say I've been down in the gut anytime recently that it was therapeutic necessarily. I mean, of course, it does feel good when you have a good set and people are enjoying it.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't say a lot of my comedy, you know, especially as of late, is based upon feeling angry or sad or anything like that. Ultimately, I'm just trying to, since I produce a lot of shows, is just getting good comedians on and helping them build some type of brand recognition to the point where people start coming to my shows more often. I have a reputation that even if they don't know the comedian, they know it's going to be good because we built that reputation that it's always going to be good. And people aren't so hesitant to want to come to a comedy show, especially when they don't know anybody who's on the show. I think that's what happens a lot in the beginning of comedy because, like, if you see my name somewhere and you don't know me, and then you see three other people's names, you don't know them, why are you going to come see that comedy show? You know, a lot of times you got to realize people are just starting to build themselves up, and it could take a long time to do that. So sometimes it, just like music, a DJ maybe, maybe if they're not famous, so what? You know, go support them because everybody needs to start somewhere with those first few fans.
Absolutely. I could totally relate to that, man. Um, how long have you been doing comedy?
16 years this March.
Wow.
A long time.
Got your black belt.
Yeah.
For real, man. Have you ever we talked briefly about this like yesterday, I believe. I really hope that you shoot a special. You know what I mean? Because I was talking to a mutual friend and I was like, man, I can't find anything. We was talking about like finding your comedy online and stuff. I was like, yeah, I don't think he's put out a special yet. I was like, I'm trying to motivate him to do it now. Like that's part of my repertoire is to whatever I can do to help you. You know what I'm saying? Let me know. I know I'm new to the game or whatever, but seriously, just whatever I can do to help.
I think a special would be really good. Not even to have necessarily me headline, just a special of me and myself and a few other comedians that I think would complement it well.
Kind of keep the same structure that you got going on now.
Yes,
I have multiple people on there.
And it's not that I'm against headlining. It's just I always feel like I'm just better as the host producer. Although I do like to do stand up myself, I've just become more accustomed to, you know, kind of like you'd watch. And I'm not comparing myself to him because he was awesome. It was Rodney Dangerfield. A lot of times you'd watch his stand up. He wouldn't do a long set necessarily. He might do 5 to 7 minutes, and then he hosts and brings people up. So he has jokes, but he's not the headliner.
Yeah. That's a funny dude, man.
Yeah.
They go back to school or whatever.
The one-liners were killer.
Man, like for real, bro. Like they don't make them like that. No more they can't, unfortunately. I don't know with the internet, bro. I feel like, you know, the cancel culture and all that, man. Have you ever had to worry about anything like that?
Well, I mean, I can't really say I'm big enough to cancel just yet. You know, and it depends. I mean, some venues, they don't want certain type of language or innuendo or anything like that. Like I've had to do comedy, not had to, but been booked to do comedy at a retirement community. So you could be sitting there with people in their 70s, their 80s, and it's not they don't know these words. Of course, they know these words. They know this content, and it might be more the company itself wanting you to tone it down, and not necessarily the seniors in there. So you know you've had to be very careful with everything from politics to religion to cursing and whatnot.
I could see that, given the audience. So I guess that works. Well, I'm a huge fan of Joey Diaz. I got Uncle Joey up on the wall. He over there. But I don't know how much of his stuff you've seen. I'm a huge fan of his podcast. But believe it or not, since I started my podcast, I rarely watch him.
Okay.
But the Church of What's Happening Now, the New Testament, I love it. He's raw, so he probably wouldn't have been able to do that retirement home show. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to kind of just say that he's one of my favorites, and I actually met him, and I mentioned that before, but I'm gonna go ahead and give a little bit of history on like us meeting. It's nothing like that, but I had went to see him live at the Comedy Zone, and I went to the bathroom, and did my business or whatever. Then I went and started washing my hands, and I looked up in the mirror, and back, he was standing at the urinal. At first, I looked at the mirror, and I just looked down. I looked back up, like, I could tell that it was him by like the back of his head. You know what I'm saying? And he walked up beside me. I kind of stood there, just like still like rinsing my hands out to like kill some time. And then I made the one mistake. I was like, "How you doing, Mr. Diaz?" He's like, No, don't call me Mr. Diaz. Call me Uncle Joey." And he said that in his podcast a million times. It's just, I guess I was a little starstruck in a way to meet him. But we was talking for about 11 seconds or so. Then this frat-tastic dude came in with nothing. I worn flip-flops with khakis on the collar shirt, but this dude was just doing too much, man. And I just felt some kind of way because he interrupted my conversation. So I just walked out. But it was cool seeing him, dog, and like having like a little down-to-earth conversation for as long as it lasted. And then like we took a picture and stuff. But that's why I love podcasting, bro, because to be able to be creative, you don't want to say certain things. I'm not trying to disrespect nobody, call out people by their name or nothing like that. I'm trying to promote and shine a light on the positive things that people are doing in the community. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
But I do have to be careful at the same time and be mindful of what I say. But yeah, that's my guy. So Joey Coco Diaz. But anyway, have you met any famous comedians? Anybody that comes to mind?
No, I mean, definitely going to see some shows, but haven't necessarily met anybody famous, like, face to face.
What What stand-up show kind of sticks out in your head from when you think about like, hey, I remember seeing this one. You know what I'm saying?
I would have to say Sebastian Maniscalco, Joe Coy, and Andrew Dice Clay.
But you remind me of him.
Which one?
The first one.
Oh, yeah.
Scalco.
I've heard that a little bit.
Yeah. Y'all have some similar features, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
In my opinion, I don't know. I guess take it as a compliment.
Yeah.
Bro, me and my cousin Kiki, shout out to Keishara Chisholm, we went to go see Godfrey. Dog, have you ever seen Total Recall?
Oh, yeah.
You know at the beginning of the movie when he has the jackhammer and he just up there just bam, 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 bam. That's what Godfrey did on stage, dog, with his jokes, dog. He went up there and just annihilated, bro. Shit was awesome. So, as far as the comedy scene now from when you started, you know, I mean, 15 plus years, you said 16, right?
Yes.
Like, I know it's a lot has changed and on the scene, I guess, possibly, as far as maybe being careful of what you got to say, but like what has changed in you as far as you have went through life, you have experienced this, you know, relationships, different jobs, different, you know, meeting different people and seeing how people's like behavior has changed through the course of when you were younger to now, especially after COVID. Like, has anything changed in how you approach the comedy, like when you're writing or the topics that you choose? Did you have any material on COVID and stuff like that?
Yeah,
or were you kind of like being careful with that? You see what I'm saying?
No, definitely have material on it. Just getting better at knowing, like I said, you know, you got to read the room, getting better at reading the room and trying to figure out what people want. Do they want the jokes? Do they want the crowd work? And, you know, I guess how clean or dirty they want it to be.
Right. Got to read the room. And, you know, I have to do that every day. Like right now, I can tell you trying to sniff out some bullshit. The way you looking at me. Hey, man, I want to go ahead and say this real quick. I went camping. You know, me and Carrie went camping. You used to work with him. Or as you say, Carrie. And I don't know if I'm going to take this out of this podcast or not, but I'm going to at least probably like make like a little animated series, like a little animated show. You know what I'm saying? But I think it should be rules of camping, dog. Do you camp?
It's been a while. I have before, though.
Bro. Like, and then, so, yeah, this will be perfect to circle back on the podcast that's releasing tomorrow. So, doing that podcast, you know, I told you that I was working on the bit. You know what it is and everything. I was kind of skeptical. Because what if I do want to, like, take it serious and come up with a minute, or 5 minutes, 10 minutes? Do I want to go ahead and let that out? Should I say it right now, you think? Like, seriously, should I say it?
If you want to, I suggest you just come to an open mic and try it out.
Yeah, and not say it on the podcast?
No, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, so this is my thing. So being 41 years old now, man, like I feel like once I turned 40, things started changing. Like all men say this, even women, like you go through changes. But and the one that I would say, as far as a rule with camping is, you shouldn't be able to go if you have hemorrhoids. I say that because, you know, you got all these like scary movies, these horror films about. I'm gonna talk about horror. That'd be a good segue. About like Dracula, vampires, and stuff like that, right? Oh, yeah. But if you have hemorrhoids, you are just welcoming a nature's own actual like vampire, like mosquitoes, bears. So let's say you got hemorrhoids, you got a leaky ass and it's blood. The bear's gonna smell that. So y'all been hiking, fishing, whatever. You get back to camp, the bear smells it. You get comfortable. You climb in your sleeping bag. You go to sleep, and then you wake up, and there's dead bodies everywhere, blood all over the place, because you led that bear back to camp. So what if you survived that? Do you get hit with, like, involuntary manslaughter charges and shit? You know what I'm saying? Like, or negligence? If you a Boy Scout leader, a Girl Scout leader, all the kids, you know what I'm saying? How would you live with yourself? Like, how many charges would you be facing? I think it's hilarious. And then, like you even said, you gave me a tag. It was like, well, what if the mosquito bites the hemorrhoid and then bites the bear? Like, that's just crazy to me, dog. I think it's hilarious. But
quite the mutation.
Quite the mutation. Some serious shit. Appreciate you. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Maybe I should come to an open mic and do it. Mm-hmm. I get so nervous when I say. I was telling my cousin that over the phone. I was just nervous saying it. But over time, I'm sure like you started out nervous, right? But you probably still get a little nervous. But once you get going, I'm assuming it's just like riding a bike, right? Because it's good to have a little bit of nerves at the beginning.
Not really so much anymore. No.
16 years to do that, huh?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that I get more excited than nervous, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So maybe you'll see me doing a minute or two on an open mic one day soon. Who knows?
Good. Hope so.
So I mentioned horror, and you're a huge horror fan.
Yes.
Like throwback wise, what was your go-to horror film or character?
So probably the two first horror movies I remember watching as a kid back in 1985 when I was 4 was An American Werewolf in London and Creepshow.
Creepshow. Oh, Creepshow was crazy, bro. You remember the one? I think Leslie Nielsen played in it.
And Ted Danson.
Yeah, and like it had something to do with him being on the beach.
Yes, I just watched it with my fiance the other day.
Yeah.
I love those movies.
Yeah, dog, like the Crypt Keeper and all that. I think that one with Leslie Nielsen, was that the one? No, it was a different one. It was like a bunch of like roaches or something, right?
That's the last one. The guy in the apartment.
Yo, you remember the one when the teenagers or the whatever, they was out on the lake?
The raft. That's part 2.
The raft. And then like the black stuff in the water,
yeah,
like the tar looking stuff came.
Yes.
Dog. I mean, a lot of people probably don't even know about that. You know what I'm saying? But that's some scary stuff, bro. I remember one time I was very scared, dog, as a child. And I remember them little shortbread cookies, like, you know, the little cookies, it's like a little hollow circle in the middle, and then the outside it's like a flower petal kind of.
Yes.
Bro, I remember, I don't know, 6, 7, I don't know how old I was, but being downstairs by myself at home, watching It, the original It, eating them cookies. Like, why? What am I doing? Like, watching this by myself, eating cookies with the horror and everything. I did draw the line to where I don't watch the demonic stuff.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like the one, The Exorcism of Emily Rose, at the end of that one, when like she was possessed by like multiple demons, and they all like said their names and was speaking different languages and stuff, dog.
So no Conjuring for you or anything like that?
I saw Conjuring after that. But just thinking back to that one, like that kind of stuff, dog, that's a whole nother level. Matter of fact, have you seen Them? It came on Amazon. It was like a throwback, kind of like the 50s, I guess. And there was one scene, it gave me like an anxiety attack, bro. That's really when I quit watching like horror, conjuring type stuff. It was like a scene where like these white guys approached this black lady at her house, and somehow like they had like got her on the ground and they were raping her. Very terrible scene. And they had a little baby in a damn bag, like a pillowcase, just like flinging them around in the pillowcase, dog. And I had an anxiety attack. Yeah, it was weird. Like it triggered something in me, dog. And I was like, I can't watch no more of this. I didn't finish it.
Okay.
I'm 40. I was 38-ish or something like that. I'm a grown man. I'll admit I couldn't finish it, dog. I can't do that. But my favorite was Freddy, bro.
Okay. Yeah.
But see, don't nobody, everybody, he a demon. He doing this and doing that. But you got to really look at the beginnings of Freddy, dog, like how he came to be.
Yeah.
And people probably don't understand. But it is crazy, the backstory on him. Like, I might butcher this. But I believe his mama was raped by like 1,000 bastards or something. No. He was the son of 1,000 maniacs.
Yes.
So yeah, she got raped by 1,000 like insane asylum individuals, and then out came Freddy, who was like beaten very, very brutally. You know what I'm saying? In his upbringing. So, but I think honestly though, I wouldn't even like setting us up to say this, but like redemption and forgiveness. I'm not saying he, it's Freddy, but I'm talking about like people in general that do bad things walking around on the streets, man. If you serve your time, give back to the community, things shouldn't be held against you forever. There's always a way back through redemption, you know what I'm saying? And that's one thing about my podcast, bro. Like I love like second, third chances because I was given multiple chances, you know what I'm saying? So I just think that that's very important, bro. I don't know. I wasn't trying to get deep like that on Freddy, but then I don't know, man. Jason, I mean, how many people watched the first one and then years later just automatically assumed that Jason was the killer? It was his mama.
That's right.
I mean, I relearned that as an adult. I guess like growing up, like as a teenager, I totally forgot that his mama was even like involved like that.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Kevin Bacon was in the first one.
He was.
Yeah. A lot of famous people got their start in horror movies.
Yeah, Johnny Depp in The First Nightmare on Elm Street.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah, Halloween.
Jennifer Aniston.
What was she?
Leprechaun.
Oh, bro, have you seen Rumpelstiltskin, dog?
No.
Yeah.
No, it's good.
I should have had you watch it before you came, dog. But like, yeah, it's good. It's actually like free on YouTube. That's how good it is. Okay. Dog, it's like one scene, dog. He be riding his motorcycle, bro, and it's like a fire hydrant spill out, and like he just like chasing somebody, and like he like wipe out on it or whatever, and it's hilarious. I will say this about the Michael Myers situation. I think Rob Zombie's version, I liked it a lot. I like Halloween a lot, man. When Rob Zombie did it, it was the first, the second Halloween that Rob Zombie did. It was the first one that I ever watched and witnessed Michael Myers say anything verbally. Right. He was like, where's this coming from? He's supposed to be a mute, man. But yeah, I don't know. Like Michael Myers, Freddy, Jason. Which one is the top for you? I didn't watch American Werewolf in London when I was young. I watched it as an adult. It was good though.
Jason Voorhees' favorite.
Dog, Jason Takes Manhattan, dog.
Oh.
When they was up on that boat, bro, and the old lady was boxing him. He had some hands.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you got the light bright on and everything. He had some hands, didn't he?
Yeah, Julius.
Wow, you remember his name, but he didn't manage his breathing, I guess, or he didn't manage his energy enough because he had Jason really like on the tip of the boat kind. All he had to do was like kind of push him a little bit, and Jason would have fell over.
I think Jason let him wear himself out.
Yeah,
and it also helps. I mean, he's punching a mask too, so it's not like he wrapped his hands and had gloves on or anything like that. And that's bare knuckle, man.
Yeah, bare knuckle, something serious. Shout out to Keith Richardson. Good gracious.
That's right.
Wow. If you know what I was really excited about, dog, the Jason versus Freddy.
So was
or Freddy versus Jason, whatever it was. It was tough, bro. It was tough. That was what they came out with after Wes Craven's New Nightmare. You know what I'm saying?
That was, a lot of that was for just giving the fans what they wanted. Yep. I didn't necessarily have the highest expectations. It was more or less just really cool seeing them in a movie together, like Aliens versus Predator.
Yeah, be careful what you ask for, I guess.
I enjoyed it though. I thought it was good. I liked it.
Yeah, I got it on DVD.
Same.
You know what's hilarious? I don't know if you ever watched Robot Chicken.
No, but I know what it is.
Bro, they had one, the claymation joint, if y'all don't know what I'm talking about. It came on Adult Swim. They had one with like Freddy, Jason, Michael Myers, Leatherface, and maybe another fifth. But it was kind of like the, I can't remember what they were doing the mock of, but it was like Big Brother or whatever. Like when everybody would sit there and like get like interviewed about what's going on. Whatever that show was when people was all staying in the same house.
Oh, Big Brother.
Like Real World or Big Brother, whichever one of them.
Big Brother.
Dog. Just imagine. It's hilarious, bro. You should check it out if you ain't seen it. For real. Let me ask you this. What are like some of your major like pet peeves?
Major pet peeves. Is that in anything specific or that's just general?
Everyday life, bro. Whatever comes to mind.
I try to I've never been diagnosed with OCD, but I try to keep things in order. And sometimes it's just hard just when you have a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Kind of like one of mine is like people not cleaning up after themselves.
Yeah.
Bro.
I do that even in a restaurant. I don't feel right. I still kind of stack stuff just because I worked in food before.
I was literally gonna bring that up, man. Shout out to my mama and my Aunt Kaki, bro. Like it was always on me about washing my hands and cleaning up after myself. And to this day, like you just said, even in the restaurant, I'll tell my daughter, like, don't leave all that rice over there, whatever. Just get the paper towel, pick it up, put it on the plate, and kind of like get everything together so it'd be easier for other people. I don't want to hear you saying that's their job. That's parenting, dog. Like, some parents will probably be like, yeah, it is their job. Just leave it. Let's go. I'm not trying to call nobody out. I don't want no problems with nobody. Peace like a river. What was the first laugh? Like, if you could think back to like one of your sets, the first laugh that really hit you and it just changed everything. It was like you just opened your eyes and you knew.
Trying to think, my first set I ever did, I think I kind of blacked out. So a lot of it, I can't say I remember. I feel like somewhere I have a DVD of some of the first jokes I told. So I like a lot of times I like to make jokes about you know, different ethnicities and cultures in good taste, of course. So that's always fun, you know, when you could just like take jabs at everybody and we could all just laugh together.
Yeah, that's how it should be, man. I mean, like, how we gonna? What do you see as far as? And this is kind of like piggybacking on the question I had asked earlier. Wasn't the greatest way that I articulated it as far as like things going on in your life from when you started comedy to now, and like you perceiving like the world and how it's changing. Then I mentioned COVID or whatever, and there's other things that are going on and happening right now that like we talked before this. I'm like, no, we're not gonna talk about it. I don't want to talk about all that. What do you see the direction that the world's going in? Like, how can we like change the direction? I feel like it's going in a bad direction for the most part, as far as what people are saying and seeing in the media and stuff like that. But like quietly, like individuals like you and I, we got some good stuff going on, man. There's some good positive things happening.
Yeah.
So what do you see so basically the question is, where do you see the world going and how can we save it? If like as far as a group of people coming together and trying to save it.
I mean, we probably heard this when we were kids, and now it still applies. You know, you might as a kid, you might have heard, don't believe everything you see on TV. Now it's like, don't believe everything you see on the internet. So like, you know, you watch these things and, you know, things that happen on the internet or maybe certain news stations. Because, you know, like we said earlier, you went to Winthrop, so did I, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was a mass communication major with a concentration in journalism. Now, I don't remember everything I learned because that's a long time ago.
Right.
Two things that really stood out, though, is that if you're going to be a reporter or a journalist or anything like that, that you should, you know, not misquote people and report the facts. And it seems like people are more based upon, okay, this is my opinion, and that's what, in my opinion, is not just that, it's a fact. And if you don't like it, there's something wrong with you. And I feel like there's just way too many opinions out there instead of just looking to report the news.
Yeah.
And just saying, hey, why don't you just have somebody on your show, let them say their thing, and that be it? Because I guess I feel like I would lose credibility if I was, you know, let's just say I was writing the news and all I did was focus on, you know, just sharing my opinion. I mean, I'll probably have my core group of people, but I'd rather try to appeal to more people. You know, that way people, if they just see you as someone who interviews to give someone a chance to talk, I think that works better for me. I think that would work better for everybody.
Yeah, it's almost like they, over a period of time, changed the job description for a newscaster, news reporter,
Anchor, reporter,
journalist.
You
got to go with
what you do.
Yeah, you got to go with the independent news sources nowadays, man. Unfortunately,
I remember years back, I remember they saying if you want to watch the news and feel like you're not getting opinions, read or watch news from another country reporting on stuff in America.
Yeah, or the Al Jazeera joint.
I just was reading something about that today.
It's crazy. So when there's a tragedy, do you wait like for a period of time before you start talking about it on stage?
See, I'm glad you brought that up. So for comedy wise, I guess it just depends on what it is, as far as whether I will make a joke about it or not. So I think it just depends on what it is. You know, whether you can get people to somehow relate to it.
Boy, and if it ain't funny, they come after you, don't they?
It could be bad.
Boy, you gotta be careful with that. I'm telling you. And I don't want you to like give away like your jokes or anything like that. But during your set, is there moments that you prepared to where you like plan for like a silence? I'm talking about you pausing.
Yeah, so the silent part, if I think I understand your question, it's when you tell a joke and you pause because you got to get all the laughs you can, squeeze out all the laughs, because I could tell you a joke and you don't laugh, and it's not because you didn't necessarily get it or that you didn't pick up on it. Sometimes people need more time.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then I've seen people step on their own punchlines.
Mm.
Like I'll tell a joke, and by the time people start laughing, I'm already jumping to the next joke. And then
Right.
I've seen people step on their own punchlines. So a lot of it's, once again, reading the room, taking your time. Because, and in some ways, you could end up having a longer set with saying the same amount of material. Because if I give 10 seconds to get the laughs out, what if I give 15 seconds? And you do that with every single joke. Next thing you know, your 10-minute set, maybe it's a 12-minute set now, and you didn't change anything. It could be exact thing, word for word, but you're giving people more time to laugh and process.
Oh yeah, and elephant in the room. We did not go to Kill Tony. Sorry.
No, I don't know. I feel like that was such a big event. You would have seen that promoted more.
Mm.
I only knew about it because you told me.
I had the hat on.
So I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
But yeah, I think what you said earlier about, like I said, reading the room, what we're talking about, and when it comes to jokes is, like I said, read the room before you jump into, because sometimes people, too soon. I think it just depends on who you're in front of.
Right. Yeah, man. Let me ask you this. So the Super Bowl's coming up this weekend.
Yes.
You know what I mean? As far as a halftime show goes, if we could, instead of doing music, do comedy, what comedians would you want to see up there on stage doing some time?
You might want to just pick some people that are really good at, maybe use sports in their material. And I know this guy isn't necessarily a comedian, but I do like to listen to him, Stephen A. Smith. So I wonder if maybe if he would be able to go out there and crack some jokes.
No.
You don't think so?
I don't know, dog. I don't even know if I'm gonna watch the Super Bowl, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
Hell, I'd rather see you up there. How about that?
Oh, okay.
But
as far as comedians go, you probably have to find someone very neutral. Because if it's someone who's slanted or
get Bill Burr up there. Let's go. I don't know, man. It
also might not be the right venue too, because sometimes people just want the music and they want the dancing, and they don't necessarily want to listen to jokes.
Yeah, they 20,000 beers deep in. They don't care about jokes, dog. You're right. I was just thinking. I thought that would be a good question because maybe they could switch it up a little bit.
Well, I don't know if you remember this or not.
In Living Color.
Oh, you remember that?
Was you gonna say something about that?
Yeah, because they tried to do a halftime show once. I mean, it's hard to tell back then because there was no internet. Yeah. So I don't know how well that did. If they took a chance, but I don't think they got the reception they probably wanted from that.
I think the year following that they put Mike Jack on.
Oh, they did.
I think
I don't remember one year.
I don't remember, man, specifically, but I think I heard that. I don't want to say that that's a fact, but my memory could be wrong. But I think that they put Mike Jack on the year following.
Okay.
I don't know why. Like I said, I could be wrong. I guess I could Google it, but we'll just keep it moving. Do you ever? I gotta come see you. I gotta come see you perform. Have you ever had anybody come at you saying things, but at the end of the day, it was the fact that you were just misunderstood. They misunderstood the joke or misunderstood what you were trying to portray or the point that you were trying to get across. Has anyone been upset with you? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that could happen. I feel like in the beginning, I tried to be focused more on shock value and just try to, and I think if I would have just toned it down a little bit, would have been a little smoother. So I did have some people come, try to talk to me about it. And I think I started comedy at a good age where I was more receptive. I was 29. So, if I would have started maybe 10 years before that, I might not have been as quick to listen to somebody. So I think just learning how to clean stuff up, you could do a lot of the same stuff you want to do without even explaining it. A lot of times it's just telling people without telling them. And most of the time they're going to get it. And then you could have totally skipped over all that vulgarity. Because once they start hearing things they don't like, they're not really listening to you anymore. The same.
Yeah. I could see that. What would you say is, do you listen to podcasts?
Sure, yeah.
What's your, a couple of your favorites?
Well, I've not just saying, I've listened to you.
Man, get out, dog. Now, see, I was saying he was looking at me earlier like he was trying to sniff out some bullshit. It's a pile of hot lava shit, bro.
Well, a lot of times because I work in maybe the underground of comedy or even just promoting boxing of people that aren't really famous, but they're professionals. A lot of times I tend to pay more attention to people like you because we're just getting started, you know?
Man, thank you so much, man.
Because think about it. I mean, I like a lot of professional people that are like super famous, but why not pay attention to people who aren't there yet and then give them, you know? So like I've been on what other podcast I've been on D Hall. I don't know if you know who that is. I've been on
Shout out to D Hall.
You know,
Matter of fact, hold on, time out. I'm not trying to be rude. Shout out to everybody that got a podcast in South Carolina. What up?
Life of Product, another guy. I'd been on his podcast and had a good time with him. So I don't know if you know who both those guys are, but I've been on their podcast and over at Seafood Del Mar School in Northern
That's what I was going to
Charlotte
say.
School,
Yeah, that's the
Comfort.
only name that really rings a bell.
I've been on his podcast before, so a lot of times it's just people that, like I said, are not famous yet, but they're kind enough to give me an opportunity.
Bro, I don't want to be famous.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I really wish I could do this without being on social media. I really do. And I'm going to tell you, I'll be saying some stuff. I mean, everybody do. Like I said, that's why I got off of social media. Like, I was off of Facebook for like 12 years or whatever, something like that. And I was like, man, I ain't getting back on this until like I figure out what kind of business I'm going to start. Yeah, so, but here we are. And I apologize if I'm repeating myself. I lost my train of thought. What was we talking about?
Podcasts?
Oh, yeah. Like for me though, like I told you, I love comedy. So like my favorite podcast would be In Godfrey We Trust,
Okay.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Sure.
And I mentioned Uncle Joey, like the Church of What's Happening Now, the New Testament. Because it's real and it's raw, and they ain't, you know what I'm saying, trying to tailor it to this corporate entity.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because like when you having a conversation with one of your homeboys or your girl, like you ain't, man, you just being human, being yourself. Like all the cloak and, is it cloak and mirrors? Is that the term? It's all bullshit.
Okay. You mean smoke and mirrors?
I said cloak and mirrors. It's cloak and dagger. yeah.
But those are the Marvel characters. I'm like, you mean the Marvel characters?
Yeah, but smoke and mirrors, man. It's just like, let's just have a conversation, bro. Just know that the podcast is the podcast, and Authentic Reflections by Lyrical Miracle LLC is something totally different. Anyway, so at your comedy shows, like the crowd, is it just like one typical like age group, or are you transcending generations?
No, I've seen a lot of different folks.
That's what. So that's what I wanted to hear, bro.
Yeah.
Congratulations on that.
Oh, thank you.
So I mean, you know, you're doing something right, dog. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, obviously, I'm not an expert at it, but I love to laugh. And if you got people coming out of all ages, man, that's something you should humbly be proud of, dog.
Yeah, 20s and up, on into 50s, 60s, yeah.
I got to be there, dog, to witness like what you got going on. I kind of feel like a hypocrite a little bit. But like that's the part about life, man. You got these passions and you got to prioritize. You know what I'm saying? And like
time, we don't feel like we have 24 hours in a day anymore like we used to. Days could drag on when you were younger, but eventually it's just like, oh man, it's another year, and then here I'm in my mid 40s, and I didn't even think this was gonna happen.
Yeah,
but I knew it was gonna happen, but it was like, you know, and there's so many resources now, you know, not just, you know, taxis. You got Uber. I mean, you gotta have some friend or family member that has told you, hey man, if you ever are drunk, you gotta call me. I'll come get you. Don't matter what time of night it is, you know. It's not worth what you could end up doing to other people.
Some of us don't learn until it's too late, brother.
Right.
So let's talk about ego versus humility in comedy.
Okay.
What comes to mind when you think of like there could be no ego in comedy? I'm sure there is.
I always feel like there's a difference between being confident and being cocky.
Right.
You know, there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, I had a great set, if it's true. But if you're just arrogant about things and like act like you're better than people or act like you're better than what you actually are, you know, I always feel like, you know, sometimes people get a little too ahead of themselves and think, you know, because of social media, I'm some type of celebrity, and it's like everybody's got social media, man. Well, I shouldn't say everybody, but you know what I mean. So like, don't ever frown upon your beginnings. I've seen that happen in comedy where some people in time they like frown upon their start in comedy, like that type of stuff is beneath them now. And I always feel like I could be doing a show in a small bar in the middle of nowhere or a much bigger venue, if people are there and they're enjoying the comedy, they should be treated the same,
Right.
regardless if it's your traditional comedy club or just some hole in the wall bar that said, hey, let's book a comedy show, even though, this typically isn't a venue for comedy. There was, I've booked comedy shows before, places that have never had comedy that typically don't do that. So, I appreciate all those beginnings.
Man, do you have any thoughts on in the future, like having a comedy club, like your own comedy club?
I've always thought it would be really cool. And it's going to sound kind of crazy.
Nah.
But what if you had a gym, like having a gym, where people can work out, but have like an event space on the side too. So like I could do both things at the same place.
We met, man, dog, that was like 20 years ago. Wasn't it?
So Omni, they opened in 2005.
Okay.
And I started working out there in 2007 and then got a job there in 2013.
2013? Yeah.
But
that makes sense.
I
was still working out there around that time.
With the exception of the first 2 years, I was there from beginning. Well, not beginning, but to the end. Yeah. And then Gold's ended up, taking that location on.
Okay, so we got the event space, and then we got a space where people are like actually working out.
Sure.
Yeah. Then you can have like a protein smoothie bar nearby.
Absolutely.
We'll just leave that there.
So there's a lot of licenses and insurance you need for stuff like that, but you get the right people and work with the right people, you can make things happen.
Yeah, we're gonna stop that right there, bro. We don't want anybody taking your ideas. You know what I'm saying? Let me ask you this: do you have any pressure on you, like keeping up with what's going on? Like, do you think that because you're a comedian, that people in the audience may feel like you should have a take on this subject? Oh, that just happened, you should talk about that. Do you ever feel any pressure like that, or you just kind of go with the flow, like whatever comes to you?
No, I never really felt that type of pressure, no.
That's good. Yeah, I can't really. I mean, honestly, bro, like this is how I look at it. And like, I'm not an expert on really anything, like I say, but as long as you do your best, man. I know this is cliche, but like, are you really trying? Then that's all people can ask of you, dog. Like, well, that's all I can ask of myself. Just like raising a child, like all I ask is, if she tries, stay focused, please, and just try. And like with sports, just have fun and try and hustle. Yeah. You don't have to score all the points. Matter of fact, you don't have to make all A's. Just pass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think stress management is very vital. And that's why one thing that really stuck out to me, one day you had told me that whenever you have something you got to do, you write it down because you don't want to feel bad about forgetting. You know what I'm saying? And that's just a big jump of respect right there, like showing courtesy for the other person. Just trying to maneuver and strategically plan and setting up appointments and meetings and sending emails. Like, I love it, but sometimes it can get like disheartening. You know what I'm saying? When like you're doing something and you know what the reason behind it and why you're doing it, and you feel like you're not getting support from other people, but you are, like I am, to a certain extent. Right. But then it's almost like it's not a pride thing or ego thing. Maybe it's a little bit of ego trying to creep in, but I'm not gonna allow it to. Like, okay, I'm gonna keep grinding it out, and when I get to a certain point, I don't want to hear nobody's damn mouth. No, I'm serious, bro. Like, it's okay. Because, I mean, Rock Hill, South Carolina. I'm actually a county man. I'm not a resident. I'm not a resident of city limits.
Right. This is the county, right? York County.
I'm going to tell you some bullshit. Since we being real about all this. At my last job, right? Like, I knew I had to go. So I need to be at home in Rock Hill helping people, surrounding area. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, damn, it'd be a good idea to maybe get back to the city. Maybe I can get a job. I had history, admissions, selling tickets to like softball tournaments and stuff, baseball, concessions. I was a field supervisor once for the city of Rock Hill, right? Now I'm 41 years old, and at the age of 40, I was trying to get a job. Good people at the Cedar Rock here. Shout to Jamie Brandon, bro. Love you, man. Thank you for trying to help me. Good people, trying to get my resume and stuff, application pushed forward. But for some reason, something was getting hung up, and I finally, contacted Human Resources about it. I can't wait for the Cedar Rock Hill no more. I'm like, wow. It was like, well, let me do some more research. I'll talk to your manager who was, your manager during the time and see what information he or she has or whatever. Talk back to the lady. There's no information. And yeah, I had a problem with alcohol back then, dog. I know I did. Anybody that knows me know I did. So my point is, obviously I didn't like come up there drunk beating on women. Like, what I'm saying? I didn't start a fight with anybody. I didn't there was no like destruction of property. Where's the second chance at, man? Where's the third chance or whatever? Where is the redemption path for a man that has found his purpose and wants to get back to his city? So I can just make a little bit of money while I'm focusing on the podcast and uplifting the, who was about to say a real bad word. I ain't gonna say it. Just lifting up community voices, dog, like being true to it, dog, like being about this. I talked to my coach. I was like, man, I don't even know if I want to even talk. I shouldn't be talking about jiu-jitsu on the podcast. He was like, why not? I was like, I'm just a white belt. I don't know. He was like, nah, you good. Like, you're not one of those guys that's trying to get 1,000,000 hits off of jiu-jitsu and bashing people and egotistical. I'm sharing my experience. That's what I'm doing. So, yeah, man. Why did I even bring that up?
You said you wanted to talk about some bullshit.
No, I was just trying to figure out how that applied to them not allowing me. Oh, yeah. So, like, I'm not, like, getting on here and talking about jiu-jitsu and not going to class. It's not like I get on here and talk about it and then, like, not talk to my people that's close to me about it. I don't get on here talking about working out and buying supplements from a certain place and not do that. Like, I don't, I'm a single father, and I'm not perfect at all. We all have our issues. You know what I'm saying? And, it's just, it's real, dog. And I just feel like them not allowing me to work for them sends a very, very bad message to the youth of the community. But at the same time, maybe it sends a good one. A good one saying, hey, don't mess up on your job because you might not be able to work there again. Okay, that could be the good side of it. I guess somebody might say that. But in my opinion, it's very bad the way you're showing that, hey, this man's trying to, he's on to something. He's doing positive things for the community. He's being real about it. And, we're not going to hire him. But it's cool. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to say that. And I don't hold any ill will against them. I just think that they need to wake up and maybe reconsider what's going on. But I don't know. Are there any audiences that you can think of in the past that seemed intimidating whenever like you walked on the stage? Obviously in your earlier years. Reading the room, feeling the vibe.
I mean, like I said, there were times in the beginning where you could tell that the people weren't there for comedy. Like, it might just been a show that there was no cover. It was just, yeah, we got comedy, but a lot of people here aren't on here for that. So it's tough when you got to get people who don't want comedy to pay attention to it. It's almost like you're starting in the negative.
Absolutely. Yeah, man, you got to climb up out the bucket, bro.
Yeah.
By yourself on that. And you get to the point people start throwing stuff at you. Like that's crazy what happened with Chappelle. Now, Chappelle came to Clemson back in the day. When I went to Clemson for a few years after high school. And how was it? I don't know. I don't remember. I remember walking to the show. You know what I'm saying? Very, very, missed opportunity. You know what I'm saying? I remember this one time I was at a show at the Comedy Zone, and Brendan Schaub, at the end, he does questions for the audience, right? And I was the last person that he chose, and I was nervous as hell. I was like, would you ever consider going hunting with Joe Rogan and Cam Haynes and like recording it and putting out content on the internet? And then he said something about a turkey or something. And then he did a bit on it, dog. Like a 3 to 5 minute bit, man. It felt good, dog. It's cool being able to interact with people like that. But at the end of the day, we all human. He's just a man with a family. Shout to shop. But I'm definitely trying to go to Texas, dog. I'm trying to go out there and check out that comedy scene one day. See what all they got going on. I got some family that's out there too.
It works out well.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe one day me and you can take a road trip.
You never know.
Yeah, that's for real, dog. So I'm gonna ask you a few questions and then we'll wrap it up. I know you said you had to be somewhere in an hour. Do you feel like in like your repertoire, like has there ever been a joke that kind of stopped being funny to you over a period of time? Like, I mean, we could say like maybe it's working on stage, but to you, maybe you're just still using it until you can like replace it with some other material. Have you ever had anything like that goes on? Like,
I feel like this up to me specifically being funny.
If you're like it's working, but to me it's not even funny no more. I just like basically so. I just feel like I say, I don't like making assumptions, and I'm not a comedian, but from what I've gathered on you, I feel like if you're doing some material and it's working, after a while, if you feel like it's not really funny to you, even though they laughing, you're gonna take it out.
No,
you always okay.
I mean, I'm not saying every joke I've written I like. Sorry, every joke I've written is funny. I mean, I typically like everything I do, but some stuff I like more than others. But I can't sit there and say that if something's going well, I'm not pulling that.
Okay. How many minutes do you have? Would you say?
So if there was no like restrictions on what I could say, I would say close to 30. That's not really a lot considering how long I've been doing comedy, but I just focus so much more on hosting and producing. So, but if I just had to be cleanish, 10 to 15, it just depends on what I can do.
You work on anything right now you like to share with the audience?
I'm trying to think if there's anything else I've been working on off the top of my head. I mean, I saved some notes in my phone. Let me see if there's something I can come up real quick. Because sometimes if I don't have pen and paper or I just got my phone, I'll just bust it out and put it on here.
And you might be like, that was a crazy question to ask. And it was leading up to the question of, do you think that like some jokes just age?
So that could happen too.
Do they age badly or just people just change? That was basically.
It just depends on the audience. I mean, right. if I'm telling jokes for a 20-something-year-old, they just might not know about that. So I'm trying to work on a joke about this somewhat movie. It's called Together. I don't know if you've seen it or not. It's got the younger Franco brother in it, but basically something happens to this couple and they end up getting stuck together in different parts of their body. And there's this one part where they're doing something intimate. And I'm trying to make a joke out of that, but I won't say it, because it could be some cursing and whatnot.
Oh, I cursed early, dog.
Nah, that's all right.
So I edited it out, man. You can tell me afterwards.
Yeah, and then there's this other joke I'm trying to work on. Like, I know this dude who's so ghetto, he brings a brown paper bag to the bar with him for his drinks. I'm trying to make that funny. Or something right here, like, how someone will say, hey, I paid good money for that, right? You always hear I paid good money. You never hear anybody say, I paid bad money for that. So I started turning to like, what if that was a joke on The Sopranos? Tony Soprano comes home. He's like, hey, Carmela, I paid bad money for that gabagool. I paid bad money for that jewelry. And try to make that funny, which I feel like definitely needs some work, but, yeah. Or there's a saying in the military or the Marines specifically, pain is weakness leaving the body. And I could say as you get older, it's like, it ain't happening fast enough.
That's you, bro. Like you had told me that like a couple months ago, and like I think I had like a bunch of stuff on my mind. Like, so George Carlin,
yeah,
that's your guy, right?
Well, yeah, one of the ones favorites because he was smart. Like he knew how to not just tell jokes, but get you to think, and I like that.
What about Eddie Murphy Raw, man? Did you watch that as a youngster?
Yeah, of course. I love when Eddie Murphy makes fun of Italian people.
Mooley, is it Mooley on?
Either one works.
Bruh. I mean, that shout out to my cousin Jim. That me and my cousin used to watch that.
Okay.
We was, I don't know, teenagers or whatever, bro, but we would watch it, dog. And like that part about the whole McDonald's burger.
Oh yeah.
What did he say? I want an egg McMuffin, with something like that.
Something with yeah.
I want to whatever. It's hilarious, man. What have you done for me lately? I'm trying to think about. I can't believe I'm blanking on this, man. Like some of the like parts that he said, bro, like it was just so damn funny. Yeah, so like he had the wife. Just go watch the special.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, watch him. Come see him live at Hoppin'
Just look up Corrado Show.
Corrado Show. And if you're trying to get your hands right, if you're trying to build your confidence, check out Light Bright Boxing as well. All day. You have any questions for me?
No, I just want to say thank you for having me on again.
Bro, I appreciate you for coming on, man. The horror thing didn't go as planned as I thought. I don't think it went as well. Like in my head, I was like, oh shit, are we gonna talk about Freddie and Jason? It's about to be funny.
Maybe next time.
Maybe next time. There should be a next time, dog. We could do more of these. Maybe we'll come up with different topics and we could do like 20 minutes.
Sure.
10, 15.
Sure.
Why not? Just knock them out, put them out, get people to come to the shows. Yeah, I mean, we can just be creative on this shit, dog. Like, do whatever the hell we want to do. And like that idea about watching the movie and talking about, oh my goodness, bro. What's the name of that movie? Sleepaway Camp?
Yeah.
Get an audience a synopsis of the movie real quick. Spoiler alert.
It's a classic 80s movie about literally a sleepaway camp. And let's just say the plot twist, the ending. As a little kid, when I saw that, I did not fully understand what was happening.
I didn't fully understand what was happening when I saw it as an adult. Hey, bro. Hey, so you got Netflix?
Yeah.
You know that Diddy documentary or whatever that show is, bro?
I've heard about it. I haven't watched it.
They need to take that down, man. Okay, like seriously, like the way he be looking on like the presentation of it or whatever, like the preview. If I was ever, I don't claim to be a tough guy. I don't like violence unless I'm watching it done professionally, like an MMA fight or something, boxing fight, whatever. If a dude ever approached me looking at me like that, dog. Yeah. So, and I'm just saying, dog. Like I'm planning, like, okay, how am I going to get away from this dude, or I got to take him down and get. I don't know what I'm gonna have to do, but he can't get too close to me. You know? Well, ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of the TDAPHUG podcast, and Mr. Corrado, bro, this is your second time on.
Yes, thank you.
You're the only person that's been on more than once. Yeah, keep that energy, dog.
I will.
We'll definitely do another one, and I appreciate you.
Thank you,
bro. Like for real, mucho respect for you getting up there over 16 plus years, dog. Like, I can't imagine how difficult it is. Because it was difficult for me to go like this and say here in elementary school when the last names got to the C, then the CARs, and then the CH. I'm sweating at that point. So, did you ever have issues with speaking publicly, or you was always cool with just kind of
maybe
like extroversion?
Maybe a little bit in the beginning, but eventually I just ended up enjoying it, so it's no big deal.
Yeah, I don't think my parents knew what anxiety was back then. All right, I mean, we're gonna end the show right there. Hey. Y'all be good to each other out there. Peace and love at TDAPHUG.